Hey guys, Ball2W here, back with another VOD review. It's Tuesday, viewer submissions on deck. Today we're going to be doing duo mid-game fighting. So we're going to be looking at all the different things about mid-game fighting as a duo. So what, when, where, why, all that shit, how. So we're going to be getting into whether a fight is good, whether a fight should be avoided, whether a fight is unavoidable, you know. And then we're also going to be analyzing specifically what you can do better in specific fights. So we have a bunch of awesome people who submitted VODs. If you want to be one of them, make sure you go down into the description below and join the Discord, and that's where we're going to be basically putting out the topics every week, and you're going to be able to have the chance to submit your VODs through email and get reviewed for this show every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Besides that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do, I want to basically come up with an idea of how, by the way, guys, if you're watching in chat, you can follow along, exclamation point notes. Here's the Google Docs. I want to basically come up with a framework of how you can analyze your duo fights, okay? So it's going to be, basically, I want to know, the first thing I want to ask myself when I'm reviewing my duo fight with my partner, right? The first thing I want to ask myself is, was this fight okay to take, right? So the things that go into that are probably going to be like, did we have the information that we needed? Are we in a good position? Do we need to loot? Right? Do we need anything from this fight? Are we going to be putting ourselves in a bad position loot-wise? Right? The other thing is position-wise actually on the map, right? Do we need to continue rotating? Is fighting right here going to put us in a bad position to rotate later? Or are we going to be set in terms of position? Yeah? So was this fight okay to take? Let's write all that down. And everybody in chat, if you're watching live, feel free to add your thoughts, right? What are the questions that we need to be asking when we're thinking about, was this fight okay to take, right? So first thing, loot. Do we need loot, right? This is a big one, right? Do we need points? This is a probably minor one, right? Do we need points? Like, I don't know, for example, you might be qualifying for a tournament and you need, like, 10 more points in a short amount of time or something like that. Do we need points? Do we need mobility? So do we need loot? I'm thinking more like, let's make sure that we're clear here. Mobility is the biggest one, right? You don't necessarily always want to go for a fight just because they have, a gold pump or something like that. Well, that would be great. Not only is it hard to realize what they have, but you're basically going for the chance to get loot. Okay, so there's a sub point here about like what knowledge you have of their loot. This is really complicated. This is advanced. I don't think we'll go too deep into that. So zone, somebody says, yep. Zone, are we good on position? Are we going to get screwed on position here? Okay, another one. It's on the same vein as zone, right? Or position is fighting for this spot specifically. Maybe we already have zone. Maybe we're in the third zone or something like that, and we want to take this mountain from these guys, right? Is that a good idea? Not necessarily always, but let's see. So do we want a better position that our opponents have, right? Okay, what else? Are there other players around? Yep. Awareness. Do we have the information we have to be safe to take the fight? AKA, are there other players around? Okay, what about, yeah, third party goes into that, right? The awareness of other players. How about awareness of the fight? Of all the information surrounding your targets, right? Or surrounding your opponents. Sometimes it's not your opponents, right? Somebody says your shield and health, yep. Is it safe? Are you likely to win? Or are you likely to get one tapped or something like that, right? Likely to win is subjective, or I don't know. Kita, you want to get out? You want to get out? All right. Are they sweaty TTV nerds or smart players trying to win the game? Yep. Well, basically, we're making an evaluation about what they are, like how they playing, right? If they don't want to fight, then it's maybe a good time to fight them, right? Because they're not going to put everything into it that they might normally, right? Because they're not happy with fighting, essentially. So evaluating your opponents. And last thing, I don't want to go too far on this because we could probably talk for a while, but do you have an advantage, right? And that goes into, like, you know, your shield, your health, your awareness. A lot of this stuff goes into it, but it all boils down to, do I have an advantage and is it worth it, right? So yeah, I kind of want to put this deeper in and put this right here. Is the fight worth it? All right. We'll put this actually up here. Deeper questions to answer this, right? But it basically comes down to those two questions. Do you have an advantage and is the fight worth it? Okay. All right, then, as always, we talked about it when we did that viewer submission about how to VOD review yourself. What was the biggest mistake in the fight, right? And that, like, I feel like this is an easier answer. Like, you could have a biggest mistake where we shouldn't have taken the fight, sure, okay? But that's a really easy answer, and it's also a really easy fix, but it's also not something that you fix in one go, right? So if you take a bad fight, you're not gonna fix that every single time. Like, from now on, it's not gonna be fixed, right? Okay. So what was the biggest mistake in the fight? That's very obvious, and that's basically the other question I want to do when I talk about mid-game fighting. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. This is Fortnite Red. Thank you so much for submitting, guys. Everybody who did, we're gonna go through a bunch. I think pretty much everybody we're gonna be watching today. But regardless, we see them basically rotating through. Let's evaluate their position really quickly. They're talking about the materials. Yes, they're right. They need more materials, so that could be a reason they want to go fight. Okay. Number of players. You know, it's a decent lobby in terms of like the first circle. Okay. But they, you know, they might be wanting to go get this brick. I think that's what's marked right here. So it's kind of awkward because there's going to be a lot of vents and whatever. So there is a lot of third-party potential in this area, especially because it's edge zone. So that's something we're thinking about. The other thing I'm thinking about is no mobility, at least on red, right? And pretty shitty weapons and pretty shitty heals, like 4 minis. Okay, I'm not sure obviously what Junior has, but regardless. Okay, this is the first time we actually see the opponent. Surprisingly, or luckily, I paused on him. And right now we can think about the position. The position is okay for Junior and red against these guys, right? But again, do we want to fight? And here we'll talk really quickly about like that advanced thinking. Okay, these guys are coming fairly early out of zone. Okay, fairly early, right? It's not. It's like some people would already be way in zone, and these guys are. I wouldn't say early, but let's just say that, I don't know, we can basically judge where they came from based on the time they're coming out of zone. So right now they're coming out. I'd say they definitely had the opportunity to loot Lonely Lodge, maybe RV, maybe Volcano. You know, those kind of places they could be coming from. Retail too, possibly. They could have came out of retail, like rotated from groceries to retail forest and then came out this way. So in terms of loot potential, I'd say probably it's okay, right? But this is the advanced topic, right? It's really hard, and I think it's more easy in customs when you know certain people are going to be rotating certain ways. You can say, okay, this guy rotates a certain route, right? He goes Lonely Lodge, he goes RV, and then he comes out of zone through retail forest. Okay, then you know exactly how much loot potential they have. Okay, they're definitely going to have a launch pad because they looted all of these chests, right? They have a certain amount of chests. Perfect. I know the loot potential of these guys. They're definitely going to have this, this, and this. And we could also think about their map potential, okay? Now, again, this is very complex. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe a future video, but we can think about that, okay? All I know is that you guys need loot. I'd say right now your position is okay to take this fight.
Oh, here in the valley, Beamed me, no.
All right, one mistake already. I think everybody can very clearly see that. Not building after you lost track of your target.
They're rushing me.
I like the fact that you went straight up to, and you're, well, I'm not sure exactly what Junior should have done here. I think he probably should have started pressuring as soon as they ramped up. And I want to see the dynamic, right? I already want to know what the dynamic is between you guys. Who's playing support? Who's playing the kind of aggressive role? Or are you guys pretty flexible? But regardless, right now I don't see either of you being the support role. And in this case, Junior should 100% be playing support, just based on what you're doing.
95. Can I hit shields?
I don't think.
Okay, I don't see you having information in the fight right now. Let's back up really quickly. I wanna talk about the support thing a little bit more right here. Okay, you get shot, whatever. You start ramping and you're looking for shots. You're not expecting them to ramp up like this, but obviously they got white tags on you, so they're gonna be pushing you, right? 100%. They're like, yes, I gotta get this Black Lynx. Okay, they're making that call right now. Okay, what is your teammate doing? I think since you're up close, right, and you're lower HP, he needs to be immediately not only ramping towards them, but also trying to stop them from ramping at you. Okay, I think you guys both should be just heavy or just AR spamming them right now. Stop that ramp push so that they can't target you. But you get, instead, Junior pushes in, and now he's like in an awkward position because Red just went straight up. So right now you guys are kind of split.
95.
Very split, not kind of split, right? And because of what happened right now, you kind of have to. If I'm Red, even though I want to heal, you kind of have to get information because you don't have any information about what's going on right now. You don't know if Junior's getting jumped. You don't know if they're jumping in his box. All this sort of stuff, right?
Shields.
I don't think so.
If you're getting focused.
Okay, now you get the information that he's ramping to your side. You heard that in the shot. Let me turn that up for you.
Yeah, I'm in my 1x1. 95.
Okay, so you are now switching to that support, but I think you're actually supporting the wrong target, right? This guy is not pressuring Junior at all. Sure, he's on ultimate height, but this guy down here, wherever he is right now, is the main threat for Junior. And sure, you could maybe get some damage on this guy, but he also has the potential to just do damage right back to you. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this, and I also still don't know what's going on over here with Junior. And obviously there's comms. Junior could be probably better at telling us exactly what's going on. Okay, he's dead. Okay, so the duo fight is over. It's a 1v2 now. We're still going to review it, obviously, but so far I think let's be honest here. Like, I think there's a laundry list of mistakes after the beginning of the fight, but the biggest mistake here that you have to fix is that you literally cannot get beamed off the start ever again, especially when you get first shot, when you get the first opportunity to peek them right there. You saw them first. In my mind, you saw them first. They didn't shoot at you if they did see you first, but you saw them, and then all of a sudden you get beamed, even though you knew that they were there, right? I think that's the biggest mistake in this fight, and I think that's an easy fix, right? If you see somebody, you don't get the shot, you gotta build, right? That is the biggest mistake, okay? For the rest of the fight, I think the other thing is, like, again, I don't have Junior's POV, so I don't know exactly what's going on, and I can't hear the comms that well. I'm not going to evaluate the comms too much today, except in certain cases where it's clearly the biggest mistake. But in this case, I just think that you not having the information that you could possibly get because, well, right, it's kind of a butterfly effect, right? You ended up getting beamed, so you ended up taking minis, and now you don't have the information, and then you did pick the wrong target, especially without the information. But I think the information gathering, especially as it relates to what your teammate is doing and how your teammate is getting fought, is the biggest thing. Okay, let's watch the rest of this fight. I actually really like that.
Boogie bomb him again.
I like that a lot. Boogie bomb them again is a good call. But I think the biggest thing here is going to be this wall. It's not yours and it's edited. You're not going to be able to re-edit that. You're going to have to place. You basically, if they start shooting you back, the only way out is placing a stair. So if this fight ends up where you don't kill one of them right away, you're going to be screwed. Especially because there's a cone even in here. Yeah. I like the idea though. Nice try.
Bad.
Nice try. Nice try. Okay. Let me switch to this screen real quick while we switch to the next VOD. Okay. What was the biggest mistake in the fight? So let's kind of get a little bit deeper, right? Because this could be, you know, awareness. We already saw that one. Let's just list basically all the different types of biggest mistakes throughout the video, and that's going to be the notes for the day. And maybe we'll get a little bit deeper at the end, but regardless, I'm not going to take specific notes about each video. Okay, so Zycoma, our friend, our perennial submission.
Yeah, there we go.
I appreciate it, man. Always fun. Okay, so I did kind of ask for, sorry, it's a little ugly quality, but I did ask for a minute before the fight. So just a note, when we are submitting VODs, make sure we're following the rules. It's not a big deal here, but we did basically know that these guys were here. I know the quality's awful right now. That's annoying. All right, well, anyways, we land on a team. I want to look at the mats. I want to look at everything. Okay, the mats are okay. I think we're, just based on the amount of people, I'd say we're, I don't know, this circle's pretty big. Maybe this is second zone, 193 points. Yeah, this could be second zone, or maybe first zone even. But regardless, we land on a team. We have a decent amount of heals. Our loadout's kind of trash. We have no mobility. Okay, we want mobility. We want to fight. And the lower amount of people, the more extended you have these opportunities to take these fights. You know, the more opportunities we have to take these fights. So, okay. Oh, it's better quality too. Interesting. Okay. I right away I'm noticing that you guys are targeting different guys, and I know you did send me a note about whether or not split fighting 1v1 is good. I'm gonna say no, and we'll talk about why. But in terms of, was the fight good to take, I think no. I think this fight was not good to take at all, because the way that you guys engaged it was so haphazard that you actually put yourself in a position where you have to split 1v1, right? You literally landed in between these guys. You landed right here. There's a guy over here and there's a guy over here. You literally put yourself in a pinch right off the bat, right? So I'm already saying this fight is not good to take because you don't have an advantage. You might want to take it, but again, you don't have an advantage. I don't know if you could get an advantage on these guys because they have such a position. If we look at the mini map right now, I know it's grayed out, but they have this position on this hill, and sure, maybe the way that you guys did it was the right way possibly to get an advantage, but I don't know, man. Pushing a hill is almost always going to be not worth it unless you can sneak on them. But this time, clearly you didn't sneak on them, right? They were paying attention to you. You almost hit them with the quad crasher, but still. I think for sure there's an issue here in terms of whether the fight was good to take, but regardless, let's continue. Always decide what you could have done to avoid taking the fight, and then also talk about why did you lose the fight, because even if you have a disadvantage, you could always win the fight, right? I don't care which pros you're fighting. I don't care. You could always win the fight. Okay, but the split 1v1 is a huge issue. Right, this is a huge issue. There's an opponent here, an opponent here, and now guess what? This guy wins the 1v1 battle for height on you, and guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna fucking ignore you, right? He's just gonna go on to Young Dios instantly.
I'm gonna chill then. Okay. I'm gonna drop. They're fucking so spread apart.
Hey, your teammate did the right call by backing down to you. Well, I'm not necessarily sure going down is the right play, but yes, it most likely is. Okay, we do also see the zone now. So it was actually first zone, second zone is a ways away. So again, we're reinforcing this idea that this fight was not good to take. Nice shots, and you did see that the opponent went directly over to start pressuring from above onto Dios and kind of both focusing him. That's really good by them. That's something that people don't actually think about, right? And the fact that they did that already tells me that they're a good duo, and you guys need to be careful. I know they're a good duo, but like you can tell these certain things, right? And that's part of duo fighting, is reading your opponents before it really gets to a point where you end up doing something you don't want to be doing, right? If these are bots, you might play differently. I'm the proponent of just always play the same that you would always play against anybody, but in some cases that's the wrong way to do it. All right, your teammate just made the call. You've been silent this entire time, and I think that's really bad. But your teammate also made the call. These kids look sweaty, instead of any sort of actual information or any sort of valuable, actionable call, right? I think that's totally irrelevant. I want people to completely remove that from their vocabulary. I kind of like this, but it's kind of risky, but it's really cool. It's like a really sleek way to kind of catch people off by surprise. But if they're both looking at you like they are, it's useless, right? And here's another point, right? They're focusing you. They're both spamming you. One person's starting to throw clingers at you. They're both focusing a single target. They haven't gotten any damage done yet, but they're still making sure that they focus specific targets. Excuse me. All right, you could have got a shot there. You're too busy trying to build for height. And with that, you're also wasting all of your materials that you spent all your early game spending. And now your teammate is also getting focused. And because you didn't spend the time to actually look for a shot, now your teammate's down 100 HP. Because if you maybe took that guy off of him for a second, maybe something different would have happened. But also the sheer fact that you would have got damage there. Okay. I mean, if we want to just analyze like raw, like I've seen you do this pyramid block twice. I've seen you not actually reacting to anything that your opponent is throwing at you. It just kind of feels like you're doing muscle memory builds without actually doing muscle memory reactions. So like that was a useless pyramid block. You could have just extended your ramp or whatever it is, or like he wasn't fighting you there at all. So yeah, and then here you need to, well, it's okay. Yeah, you could have gotten the cone off and made it so that he couldn't block himself off.
I'm fucking low. He's in my box. God damn it.
Yeah, and then this is the thing, right? This is the communication part. This is the communication part. I don't think at all that you had any clue that Young Dios was getting fought by one person. And this is another part of the split 1v1, right? If anything bad happens, if for some reason he loses his wall, or if for some reason he gets tagged for way more than he expected to, you need to be in a position to be able to support him and push that guy off. Otherwise, he's going to get thirsted, or he's just going to get knocked, or whatever. It's going to be bad, right, if you're not in that position. Not only that, but you didn't tell your teammate that you were focusing on one guy, right? You didn't tell him that at all. So if you told him, hey, I'm focused on this guy up top, I can't help you, maybe he would have played it differently, right? I think right now the biggest issue is comms for you guys. I want to kind of listen back with a little bit louder comms. Let's go back to no, right here.
I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill then.
Okay.
What's up, Twiz? Let's go, man.
Like we're fucking so spread apart.
I'm gonna drop. We're so spread apart. See, that's the shot. That's you went for this one, but you didn't go for the other one, right?
They're both on height right there.
Kids are a bit sweaty. You did call that they're both on height. That's good. Height checks are very important. Height check again, right? Calm that. They're both on height. They're spamming me. They're spamming me. Both on height, right?
Yeah, I dropped.
I dropped. Relevant. Very relevant.
Coming up.
Coming up. I got it. I got it. I got it. I have him in a box. I have him. Your teammate is getting focused down there. Like, we gotta. He's. Well, let's. I can't hear what he said because he mumbles it.
I'm fucking low.
I'm fucking low. Okay.
My box.
All right, we can't get to a position where the first call about the entire situation down there is I'm fucking low, right? We cannot have that happen. That's the biggest mistake of the fight, is some comms. Some comms. Because you had no idea that from height, you could have just blocked this guy off and just started shooting down here because you had no idea what the status of your teammate was. And your teammate didn't know that you were on height and that you could have done that, right? Because you didn't calm that you took height, right? Height status calls are so fucking important in this game. So important. He has height. 3 seconds later, or 5 seconds later, he has height. 6 seconds later, he has height. You just keep repeating it. Keep making sure that we know the status of the fight, right? Keep figuring out exactly what's going on. I'm fighting this guy. Young Diaz needs to say he's pressuring my box, right? So I come and says I have height. Okay, all of a sudden it clicks in Diaz's head. Hey, shoot down on this guy. Pressure this guy. He's fighting me, right? Like all these little information bits add up to a lot of different things, a lot of branches that you can all go into different spots, right? Always. And yeah, you guys have the 100% the right idea, right? I think once you take height, well, number one, I'm kind of wary about the fact that we already spent so much materials in this fight, but it's probably okay considering the position that they're in. First circle, 35 left. There's going to be a lot of time for them, especially because they can rotate bridge. They have the quad around there. They're probably okay in position and mats. They could probably spend their full shit here, but still, like, regardless, yes. At this point, drop down, whatever. But I think the biggest mistake here is your comms, man. It's clear as day to me. Clear as day. Clear as day. Fix your comms. I think the only thing I'm going to say, yeah, comms. And specifically, height status calls. Like, specifically, sure, there was way more things that you could fix, but let's just say the best thing that you could do, from my personal opinion, obviously everybody's can be different, is height status calls. Just call height, okay? Your next fight is going to be 10 times better because you call in height. Every 5 seconds, update height, right? Every 5 seconds, fuck it. That's a specific solution that you guys can implement that's going to improve your game, right? And that's what we talked about last time, was find the biggest mistake and then find an actionable solution, right? So height status calls, do it up. Do it up. Okay. Next VOD, boys. Yeah, I think we have a very, very, very similar team, but completely different in terms of the stuff that you guys do even without comms. So this is Tyranny, I think that's the name. Destiny, thank you for the 4 bits. I already picked a VOD, man. Sorry. Plus, the flow is better, man. The flow is better. The flow is better. This is a duo that I think has chemistry in terms of like being able to think about what their teammate is going to do, and I think some teammates are really, really good at doing that. I think like Bizzle and Demo is one of them, right? Where they literally will just do stuff and it will be good together without actually saying anything about it, right? Zayt and Saf are the same way. But you think about like the X2 twins, right? The X2 twins, they calm everything. And sure, they have some sort of telepathic link, but they still calm everything. And the plans get played out from there, right? It starts with the comms. Other people, it just starts by seeing what your teammate is doing and doing something that's going to be relevant to them, right? I think these guys kind of have that. I think, well, right, let's go watch it. Let's just watch.
Go towards like northwest.
Or we go like northwest.
We're so in sync. Mats, fantastic. Position, fantastic. They have the drift boards. They're going even more center zone. They already have 3 kills. They're great on They're great on everything. I don't see mobility, but I didn't know you could actually see your traps when you're on a drift board. That's really dumb.
Use interchange whenever we can. That'd be actually kind of cool.
That'd be insane, dude. We would actually be insane. Oh, people at Dusty.
Wait, what are they talking about?
It should be, dude. We should totally do this. It should be me, you, Dap, and your dude Zex as a squad.
Oh, squad.
The building. I'm going top of red.
Squad scrims.
Dusty. Freaking dropped into Dusty Divot.
This is Dusty, bro.
This is Dusty Diner.
Yeah, whatever.
He's gotta specify.
Okay. You already see what I'm talking about, right? In terms of like this man just like instantly is build fighting somebody, and like there's not really any comms there.
You really want to fight me, kid? Hey, yours.
There's also a lot of like little mechanical things I don't want to be like, oh, this is really cool from this guy. Right there, you saw how he held the edit and then he jumped forward. That was really cool, and probably fairly good because when he's like, I'm not sure if it's actually phasing through, but regardless, like you're gonna put your hitbox at somewhere where they don't expect when you kind of jump forward like that. And you see he like does a lot of like good edits where he doesn't get hit because it obviously gets hit there, but immediately cracks back. And that right there is really good. The way that he like instantly is, well, two things, right? The fact that his teammate is spamming with a minigun is fantastic. And the fact that he took the pump shot, this guy wasn't looking for anything else and he went for the AR and he just started spamming his builds, even though he's running at him, right? So it's just great support on all levels, right? The minigun from down below, and then he's also pressuring from the top directly. And then that was easy. Very easy, very easy. I mean, that was dirty. Okay, and this is sick too. The cone right there to follow up while this guy's continuing to spam. I think this is something that honestly, I don't even know if this is a thing at the pro level yet, but you'll see it again in the next fight. Like they just mollywop that duo 100% easy fucking deal. They might have been not the greatest players, but regardless, I think there's something to this duo that you don't see everywhere. Okay, number one, we already know there's a support player. We already know this is a support player. This man's carrying a minigun. He's spamming his freaking AK. He's spamming his minigun when Tyrani is chasing him down. Okay, and this guy is super aggro. Tyrani is very aggro. Clearly, you saw him already make 2 edit plays on people, right? And then secondly, the thing that I'm like, this is kind of new to me. This is something that I haven't seen. Is Tyrani's ability to block this guy while he's pressuring, he makes sure that he can't escape. Okay, we saw one cone there. We actually saw a cone earlier before, where he's focusing on making sure he can't escape. And we talked about comms, right? And they have done perfectly fine, right? In this, the only thing about their comms that like was the beginning of the fight. Okay, the guy started fighting without really saying anything and whatever. But ever since then, they did perfectly, right? They were supporting the right targets. There was no reason to come because they were doing the right things. That's the flip side, right? This is what I'm talking about. The Bizzle Saft or Bizzle Demo. This is 8 staff kind of duos.
Yeah, like that, man.
Where they don't necessarily need the freaking
cannon over to us.
Most amazing comms.
Right here.
Because they're always doing the right things.
Right here is really helpful.
You can see there though. He says right here is really helpful because his teammate said cannoning right here, right?
He's inside this crate right here in front of me. Come here.
Other person, watch out.
I suck, bro.
Alright, so 2 duos are now on top of him.
This guy's so beamed. He's literally like so beamed.
Alright, there's another comm. Obviously, that's fucking trash. He's so beamed. He's literally so beamed. This guy, no specifics, no directions, no HP calls, nothing. There's a height status call that's really good though.
He missed though.
Another nice trap, but it was more of like, you know, whatever. That was great pressure by his teammate. Great pressure by his teammate.
Finishing.
And you know why that's so good, right? Look at this guy, right? This guy's getting pressure from this side, and he's getting pushed from this side, and because Zora is pressuring from this side, he's literally not paying attention to Tyrani at all, right? Just gets killed by an AR, man. Just gets killed by an AR because of the pressure.
Is he dead yet?
This is the type of roles that you guys need to be thinking about as your duos, and when you end up losing a fight because for whatever reason they are just able to do whatever they want in the fight, that's wise because you don't have these specific type of roles that are ending up happening. That was good too. These little maneuvers, the cone here on the outside, just to make it so that if this guy does want to fight for height, he's gonna have to spend a little bit more time, and then I could go do whatever I need to do, or my teammate can do whatever he needs to do. Just buying a little bit of time. Jesus Christ.
I recommend getting down, brother.
I recommend getting down. All right.
Trust me. Get down. Get down.
Oh.
He started pressuring the same guy that he was fighting, by the way, and then he saw an opportunity to knock it down.
Okay.
So regardless, coming down.
He's on me, bro.
I'm fighting for high right now. Oh, you're right here with me too. Right?
Popping a mini.
My pump didn't shoot.
All right, now it's kind of getting a little weird just because he's so high without his teammate, and that support structure is gone, and it's just all of a sudden a 1v1. I don't know where this guy's teammate is. Regardless, that was irrelevant.
Shooting down. Shooting down.
I think it could have been a mistake.
I don't know.
Again, we gotta look for the biggest mistake. The biggest
No,
mistake.
I got minis right here.
Or the biggest thing you want to fix from the fight. Might not necessarily even be a mistake. But I think I'm seeing a trend here in which this is just going to be really. There's that minigun again. I love the support structure. I love the way that they're using the minigun. It's really good. And I think people are starting to use miniguns in that way. Honestly, the minigun is the best support gun in the game. But I'm seeing a little bit of a trend here where Tyrani is a little bit he's more aggressive than necessary, right? He just ran straight in here without his teammate. If this guy was competent, he would have not been in this box, and they would have ended up in this guy would have not been able to come pressure at all or in support, because the fight would have gone somewhere else, because he's getting in there so fast, so much. All right, thanks for the submission. Let's quickly take one. No, a biggest mistake in this fight, I don't know. This is the fight was pretty clean, right? But we can still say, I think Tyrani's aggression, like, by yourself, could bite you in the ass. We saw it on high ground, and we saw it right there. What is this, man? You have a bar for supporters for customs? Holy hell, man. Go send this guy some love. Supporter creator code Destiny's Jesus Christ. Oh, TTV. Don't forget the TTV.
Like, I kind of
my
I uploaded just
goodness.
a picture of that Mitro skin. Literally the most bottom
This
barrel
man.
like joke, right? Saying, oh, this skin is whatever, full fucking sweats over. Like, if you see this guy, he's gonna storm fight you, right? And I got like 1,000 upvotes. Like, that's not actually like good.
All right, evaluating the position. Position is right outside the zone. That's decent. They got the rift to go. They're maxing out on breaking wood. Metal's weak. Okay, we need to think about that. And I also want to think about mobility, getting to the next zone or center zone or wherever they need to be. They have the cannons. They might have ballers. They have the quad crasher over here, maybe. I think it's looking a little weak in terms of rotation out of zone, but for the rest of it, they're pretty good, right? He has a purple compact, purple silenced. Health or heals, they're looking a little weak. I'm not sure what rest of the mobility is looking like, but they can probably scrape by
Content
here.
that somebody spent time doing.
I don't necessarily think they
Picture,
want to
find
look for a
Google
fight.
Images, and then uploaded it. Near me too.
Coming. Where?
Other side of Fork Knife.
Kill them.
Oh, building on me, dog. What is that?
Okay, a little bit more urgency there, maybe in the comms.
He's breaking you up.
I also really like the fact that Sculpey is immediately starting to shoot as Destiny's fighting for height.
Oh, breaking you down.
I feel like Sculpey was kind of taken aback by the speed of the speed of the way that this fight propped up, right? 2 on me, all of a sudden, blah blah blah, and then they're building up on me. So yeah, we're fighting, right? Sculpey's like, "Are we fighting?" Like,
I think him 6.
that needs to be clear from the start, right? Because then Sculpey can get some tags, possibly.
One on the ground. Breaking you down right now. He just pushed it down.
His teammates got gliders.
Right above me.
That was bad by Sculpey to reconnect there by accident. I don't think he realized. I don't think he realized.
Headshot, no shield on me, no shield on me.
See, these are the status calls, right? These are the status calls that we need. Headshot here, no shield on me. He heard the shield breaking sound. He also saw that he was drinking minis. I love that wall right there. I love it. I love it.
Got this guy on me. I need help.
Other guy's building up. Hit 65.
Look at this. The way that Destiny's looking for looking for the information before he really makes anything, right? He looks in the box, he's looking straight up. Sculpey hits him. He still needs to exactly figure out how to approach this. Then he continues on.
Break him down. He's got gliders, I think, though.
Okay.
I'm breaking off him down.
This is really good, okay? I had the same realization with I think I was playing with Speedy or something like that, where we were talking about a fight that we I don't remember if we lost or whatever, but we literally built fought a solo, and we were like, okay, we spent so much mats and so much health build fighting the solo because it was able to like just do random little things to, you know, get little chip damage in and whatever, and then we ended up being in a shit position because we build fought a solo, right? And they immediately realized, hey, it's not worth actually fighting this guy all the way up. He's just going to spend his mats, right? He can't, if we just sit in an angle that he can't shoot us, or shoot one of us, he can't do anything. So just knocking him down is completely the right play, and just not engaging in any sort of build fight shenanigans is perfect.
Behind us.
Another
Lay
rift.
down.
Look at this, man. This is why mid-game fighting sometimes is good. And the position is good to fight, right? Especially because that first kill ended up being pretty good. Got a rift.
I got 2.
And there's one more guy somewhere.
Okay, if you want. I might need a big pot.
I want to look at the
You don't need a
spoils.
big pot. Drink a big pot, sure.
I'll drink a big bowl. How many mats are you on? I'm 3
I'm 2, 4 and a bit. This guy's mats up here. Hold on. On me.
I need armor, by the way.
On me.
More mats. They're max metal now. They don't need to think about that at all. I mean, besides getting a good position.
The other
right?
guy was shooting him out, so I think he had a glider redeploy, that guy. He did, didn't he? Yeah, that's why he was shooting him out. Could play by him.
Do you have any ammo?
That was also a hella good recognition. The fact that that he realized early on in the fight, he thinks that this guy has glider redeploy when he was knocking him out, because he knocked him out when his teammate was up there. So he was like, okay, this guy probably has glider redeploy. And so when they knocked him out, he was like not expecting to get the kill, right? That was really good. Really, really good. What is the biggest mistake in this fight? I mean, I already talked about the start of the fight was a little odd. There's a little bit of over aggressiveness on Destiny's. Probably didn't need to take damage here, right? How could we avoid taking damage here? Maybe reconnecting. Yeah, it's possible. That possibly could have been really good if they didn't reconnect, but it also could have worked out. I don't think that was that specifically didn't get super punished. I don't think that was going to be a huge issue, especially because they guessed that he had glider redeploy. Couldn't avoid damage there. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I actually think that this is a big mistake, and I think that they can fix this, right? They both made the play to come down and knock it out, right? But look, neither of them is getting any information about what is going on. Better headset? Nah. Nothing. Both of these guys are just spamming their ARs, pickaxing like without any sort of like thought at all about what's going to happen when they come down, right? Keep one tracking. There you go. One of you guys, especially once it gets this low, right? To start looking for him, right? It doesn't take 2 people to knock down a single wall or 2 walls, right? The guy's going to come down regardless. The guy knows you're knocking him down, especially when it's this slow, right? You guys, one person just needs to track and one person needs to know exactly where he is, and we would have known that he already came down, and it would have actually been pointless to knock the rest of the stuff down. All right? So, boom. I think that's the biggest mistake. Every time It's a similar concept to the early game fighting concept, right? It's a similar concept where you usually have one person on top of the house while one person loots. Very similar. So we could just apply that here, and Destiny Jesus wouldn't get cracked, and you would have killed him. Easy. Because this guy's panicking, right? As soon as he does come down, as soon as you realize where he is, you just start spamming him, he's gonna die. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna call you out, Tyrani. You're kind of using this as a little bit of a flex session, by the way. A little flex session. Because these were 2 relatively clean fights. This one was a lot less clean.
Just get out. We're fine.
I hope I don't crash again. But that first one was just like, okay.
Turn on.
What do you want me to tell you about this fight, man? I liked it because we could learn a lot from it, but
Left side.
I still definitely want people not to
launch
be
pad right
using
here.
this as a way to be like, yeah,
Never max on my wood again.
I'm really good at the game, you know?
Oh wow. I need those
All right, you've gotten chunked twice.
minis.
Already starting to see a big mistake here. All right. Finally, we got a fight that isn't something that we want to take, right? You can see Tyrani and Depu. That's a great name. Great name. Great name. are trying to run away, right? And they're getting pushed. They were trying to quad crash in their zone. Dappa? Nah, it's Depu. Depu. I'm certain it's Depu, man. Come on, man. Let me have my moment. Let me have my moment. This is gonna be my last. I'm gonna watch one more after this. I've already picked them though, Cypher, unfortunately. If you wanted to get a submission or something. For all those wondering, like I do pick these ahead of time. We have a week to submit VODs for next week. As soon as I post the topic, hopefully sometime tonight, then you guys can start submitting for next week. And
I'm still down.
I'll pick
Oh, you're
that
launching
day.
out. Got it. Oh,
All right. I'm not sure that Dappa placed this launch pad right, or he placed the launch pad right because he clearly got out, but he didn't give the information to his teammates, so you end up in a situation here. This is a very easy fix. It could be the
no,
one
I
that we
scuffed
choose. I scuffed it. No, you actually didn't.
You good? You're good. They're fighting.
go in.
I love this decision to try to get out of here, right? I love it. Why? Because Dusty Divot's third party central. They've got a little bit ways to go on the zone. The zone isn't coming yet, but I also don't know which zone this is. I think it's first, but it could be second. If it's second, there's definitely gonna be a lot more congestion here in Divot. It's just a huge third party central, and it's just uncomfortable to fight in. And yeah, it's just not fun.
To retail.
They did have mobility too, so maybe they're getting away because they think, okay, I'm actually set for endgame. I have max wood, I have a decent amount of brick, I have max metal. All we need to do is post up somewhere with brick and we'll be fine, right? So that's another thing, right? If you have the setup that you need, okay, fine, screw it. Let's just continue the game. We don't need to fight.
I have my own launch pad actually.
Somebody's landing.
Wait, the heck?
I'm coming back.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh.
Got him.
I'm gonna finish.
Someone's behind you.
Yep.
Full
Oh, he didn't get the kill. I was like, wait, why didn't he get HP? Okay.
shield.
I'm trying to mini up. Play it safe.
Good support there by Dappa, by the way. Really good support.
Yep, just drop down.
I would say that going for that shot in the box was a little risky, just because he didn't have a quick way to make sure that this fight doesn't end up in a clusterfuck where we both are going to 50-50 each other regardless, because it did end up that way. Luckily that Dappa was close by, but going for that shot was probably too much, right? At least wait until Dappa has shots ready to take, right? Like if I back up here, we box him
My
up.
own launch pad actually.
Somebody's landing.
Wait, the heck?
I'm coming back.
He ends up in your box, right? You instantly go for the edit instead of thinking, what can I do here? He's in my box. Like, what can I do here that's going to actually give me the advantage? Like, if you wait, hold this edit, you'll see what this guy has a shotgun out. He's not pickaxing yet at all, right? He's not doing anything yet. You're safe. You're fine. Okay, just wait for your teammate to freaking shoot him. So start shooting the brick. He like, yeah. See, now this is rough because you messed up your edit or whatever, and you're down to 4 HP because he almost one-pumped you. He could have one-pumped you, right? If this was just a little bit stronger shot, it would have been over for you guys, right? Because his teammates coming right over this.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh.
But thank God that timing came perfectly. But if you think about it, like 3 seconds later, you make that edit, or 2 seconds later, or whatever, and this guy doesn't even get the one pump off, you know? Doesn't even get it.
I'm gonna finish.
Someone's behind you.
Yep.
Full shield.
I'm trying to mini up. Play it safe, play it safe, play it safe.
I got another team landing on me here.
Yep, just drop down if you can.
Yeah, it could have really been the end of the
I have a
game right
launch pad,
there.
just saying.
It could have been the end of the game.
Oh no. Come down to me if you can. I'm gonna launch this out, okay?
I'm coming to you, both on me.
Alright.
Go.
Oh, that's a
All right. I do want to say, like, clearly Dappa is running away from here. I'm not sure why you went out this way to place a launch in the first place, because these guys could be falling right on top of Dappa, right? Always try to place a launch pad away from your opponents.
awkward.
Edit that closed.
No, we're staying. We're fighting this?
Yeah, I misplaced a launch pad.
We could probably get in there still. Oh yeah, never mind. Come on.
Yeah, and like Dappa didn't need to figure this out on his own, right? Tyrani, you said I misplaced the launch pad, but you gotta be just like, we can't use it. I fucked it up. Like something like that. Like something very, very obvious that there's no chance, right? I actually thought you were gonna go to the side here, and I was like, oh my god, you're fucking so good at doing exactly what you need to do. Oh, you kind of are.
Okay, I have the other team. No, come back up.
I'm up.
I think he's very, very clearly very cognizant of what's going on around him, that he doesn't want to push down there because he doesn't know exactly where the teammate is, and he doesn't want to put himself in a pinch. It's really good. Very good.
Medkits, so we're fine.
I have dynamite, bro.
Oh.
What a dynamite.
I got a guy. No, I didn't get him. I broke his shield. Yep. Oh, you broke me down.
Got him down.
Nice.
Jeez, man.
Pushing him.
Jeez, man.
He's out here. He's pushing out.
I have a different person on me.
And like we could see, like right now, we were looking at the zone earlier. We're like, yeah, you know, it's fine, but these fights can get extended, man. This fight has been going on for 2 minutes now. Like, this is why you can't actually. This is why disengaging here was perfect. This is why this team fighting them is annoying, and this is why launching away was even still the right play.
Oh my god, that's actually that's my friend.
All right, they ended up in a 1v1, but that guy was cracked already, so they kind of knew it, but there was no status call there at all.
I got him. Lol, I just got my friend.
Let's go, dude. Let's go, baby.
There's another team here. Another team here.
I'm pushing out.
That's fine.
I like the fake back out.
Yep. Pushing him. He's white.
I like it. The spam is perfect. Good support. And my VLC crashed again. Woohoo!
Oh, he died his own.
Okay, he died his own, but I think right there, like, put it into your mind that if your teammate's shooting the other side, you just best shoot right through, right? He can't cover both sides. Okay. Okay, so in this fight, this is the second time in a row that I'm seeing, like, this is a different duo partner, obviously, with Dappa, but I for sure think that comms for you is a weak point. Just calling what you're doing is important. Calling, like, comms are the most important thing in the mid game fights. Like, we already saw it with Zycoma, we saw it with you already, but we kind of, you know, brushed it off because of how well you guys were playing together already. We kind of just were like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. It's fine, right? But it's really not. Like, you might as well just be good at comms, right? There's no reason not to. Why would you not? And why would you favor doing something a different way instead of just having perfect comms where you can always know exactly what you guys are going to do? I don't see that there's ever going to be arguments like that, right? I don't see it. So I think you need to call what you're doing more often, right? Call what you're doing more often, and you will have a much better time. All right, let's get into this last one. It's another one of Fortnite
I have
Reds.
like 200 total.
Let's turn this down a little bit.
I have 600.
Do you
So-
see them anymore? I don't know where they are.
All right, so This is actually, like, now that I'm looking at this again, this is more of a early game fight, I would say. Just because the fact that they're still in retail, they already know where the opponent is, they're still looting retail, they're still farming retail. I assume this is their drop spot, just based on the amount of match that they have and the amount of kills they have. So, like, you know, this is more of an early game fight, but we can still treat it the same way, right? It's duo fighting. This is all. I'm very happy with this.
No clue.
But the thing is, like, early game fight here, we have more information, or we should have more information than we would have in a mid game fight, right? Because we know, right? If this is an early game fight, and again, this is not. I'm not saying this is bad. I actually think I said late early game fights or mid game fights, right? But the reason it's a little different is we should know exactly where these people are, and we should know their situation. We should know exactly how much loot they have. We should know whether or not they fought, whether or not they might be weak. We should know pretty much way more information than we would have if we run up against a duo in mid game, right? Because we know exactly the path they took. We should know, right? But yeah, okay, you said they didn't land at your drop. Okay. Still, early game, you should know a little bit more, right? Because there's only a few places they could get to your spot right now, right? It's either they came here, they landed Retail Forest, they landed Volcano, came down, or something like that, right? We have a little bit more information. Regardless, it seems like you know where they are right now. You should be tracking them. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I know exactly what happens in like a second there. Boom, your teammate gets sniped. That should never happen if you know where they are. Should never if you even had an inkling of where they could be, that should not happen.
Mid jump. He doesn't have an angle. One of them is behind the closest burger.
Nice.
See him?
Yeah, I'm holding. He's on top of the burger thing, looking for you.
They look like they have no fucking clue. I'm bandaging.
Oh, it didn't fucking fire. I'm holding the top. I have high.
Okay, you just wasted all the advantage that you had by having high, right? Because number one, Junior is also building for height, okay? Right? If he's gonna build for height after you build for height, then you should be making it so that he easily is gonna get height. But you lost it because of this little fumble here, and you literally squandered any opportunity you had to do anything.
Okay, one
from
guy on
height.
top of me. I'm boxed in. I'm taking him back.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, now you got it back, and you have a little bit of time here. I'm not sure why you're not ADSing there.
One guy is trying to replace me.
You're getting third party, and now you know you need to call that out. And you need to start blocking for it every single other time.
He has high. No, he doesn't. He's in this box in front of me.
Okay, you know that guy started shooting at you, so you should already be blocking against him.
I have
This
high.
box here.
But there you go. There it is. Perfect.
One guy coming up.
Okay, here's the thing, right? Junior has somebody on him. You already have this guy. You got this wall, whatever. And you see that he's far away right now. I think you kind of have a slow reaction to the fact that he's running away from you. You could have gotten a lot of damage in on him if you just freaking like big-headed this wall, or just like didn't even place the wall and just start shooting at him. Shoot. Fuck it. Just start shooting at him with your SMG, man. Right through here. Right through the wall. He's not going to be able to block you. Just do something. And you squander it all by going for this window at it, and now he's gone.
Yeah, there's someone third partying definitely from fucking
That took
retail.
so long.
I'm
Middle
at
of
a mat.
retail. I have 200.
Okay, complaining about the third party does nothing, Junior. Like, you had a good position. You still have a good position. Forget what this third party's doing. Sure, you might have just gotten shot or whatever. Like,
Coming up. He's
Whatever.
so white, this guy.
Got him. Finish him. Nice. Get his mats.
Yeah, I'm trying.
They're on the
That's a
burger.
good call to get
on
the
top of
mats.
The burger house. You can snipe him maybe.
because he was low.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny. I think this guy was build fighting by himself.
Making really
there's
bad.
a suppressed sniper here if you want it.
Coming down for it.
Okay, you need to get the information. Your teammate said something. You need to confirm it. You need to figure out exactly where he is, right? He said he's on top of Burger, right? That doesn't actually tell you where he is. Like, sure, it tells you he's at Burger, he's on top of Burger, but it doesn't tell you, like, which side of the roof he's on or whatever. Get the information. Like, you could sit on a ramp and take that mini, right? You could third person peek that.
Other guy was like ramping up or something.
You guys are completely, like, wasting your time up here.
Bro,
Also, give him that mini, man. Give him that mini.
each other pretty bad. Ramping up. Shield break, I think.
You want to go down for him, or you want to stay up to the? I can cling at that.
All right, you have a watch. You have you're a cool guy who for some reason watches his explosions, so you're not a cool guy at all, actually. You know, the cool guys who never watch their explosions, you got to be that guy, right? I've seen you do it with your shots. I've seen you do it with your builds. I've seen you do it with a couple of things right here. Like, you're looking even after, man. You're a super not cool guy. You're so far away from the action hero that I don't know, man. Build a ramp, look for shots on him, possibly. Do something to try to take advantage of the fact. My cat is so cute, dude. Yeah, so it's do your thing and start doing the next thing right away. You have no reason to be doing to be watching, right? Spend your action, right? You're anything that you could be doing right now, it all went to zero. If we talk about in StarCraft terms, your APM went to zero, right? You're literally not doing anything. You're not getting any information, nothing.
Rift, we're not in zone. We need to go down.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck off.
This team on the burger are fucking psycho.
Cat cam. Cat cam. Do 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 do. Kita. Hi. Hi. Say hi. Do your meow. I want to see if it comes up on cam. Here. The microphone will pick up your meow. Go ahead, meow. 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 All right, you want cuddles? All right. All right, fine. Fine. Oops. Cat's like, the fuck? The fuck? All right. All right, let's continue.
I'm just holding with an AR. The burger guy is just waiting for you.
I don't fucking see where this guy is. He's on top of me.
I'm gonna die in Storm in like 3 seconds. You got any heals? Campfire or anything?
Feels bad.
No, nothing.
Up here.
Got him.
I think you thought that you ran out of mats or something, but you should have been building there.
No heals.
That really sucks that you didn't get that kill, because you should have gotten the kill there, because you would have stayed alive in zone.
I'm gonna die in Storm.
Nice,
I don't know why.
Okay.
It just.
Cool. Biggest mistake here, man, is. Biggest mistake again. Unfortunately, it comes down to the awareness there, right? We saw the first one. We saw the first one where you got beamed like crazy. The second one here, Junior gets sniped. So these both these fights started off with you guys on a huge back foot, right? Yeah, it was a bug, 100%. When your brick when a material runs out, you end up having a little bit of delay until it switches. But yeah, both of the fights that we saw, you started off with a huge back foot because you were not aware of the shots. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Cool. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to do the YouTube outro for you guys on Twitch, and then we'll talk a little bit and then raid somebody. But if you did enjoy that video, please make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and do all the things on my social media. Again, if you're interested in getting reviewed on these viewer submission days, specifically the topics are going to be posted on my Discord, and how to submit is going to be posted on my Discord, which is down below in the description. So make sure you go check that out and join up. But with that, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys next Tuesday, all right? Peace.